On the 20th of August 2012, the European Commission amended the regulation EEC-CCIP, the Customs Code Implementing Provisions, laying down provisions for the implementation of the Council Regulation EEC, establishing the Community Customs Code CCC. Article 372 of the Regulation EEC highlights the importance of simplified procedures specific to goods carried by different modes of transport: by rail or large container, by air, by sea, or moved by pipeline. Regarding the simplifications for rail traffic, there are three main benefits. The CIM consignment note must be equivalent to a community transit declaration. No guarantee needs to be provided for operations carried out by the railway companies of the member states. The customs responsibility of the shipper is assumed by the railway undertaking. Currently, the importer needs to have a correspondence at the intermediate port in order to provide any additional information required for the transit of the goods. Additionally, if goods are due for a physical inspection, this must take place in port areas where handling costs are more expensive than they would be at the destination. As part of the B2MoS project, 3 re-engineering analyses and 2 prototypes and pilots have been implemented in Spain, Italy and Slovenia in order to make use of the simplified rail transit procedure. However, although this procedure allows for a transnational scope, these pilots have only been applicable for domestic traffic, since complex bilateral or multilateral arrangements between countries are still needed. The Port Authority of Barcelona, the APB, was the first port in Spain to establish a simplified transit procedure for containerized rail transport, from its port toward a dry port in Zaragoza. In B2MoS, the APB has proposed a re-engineering plan to be able to apply simplified transit procedures in the rail corridors between the Port of Barcelona and Toulouse and Lyon. Unfortunately, although a thorough analysis has been developed, no pilot has taken place, as at this time there is no bilateral agreement between the Spanish and French customs authorities, which would make the application of simplified rail transit procedures between the two countries possible. With this initiative, the Port Authority of Livorno has linked both the booking and the transit administrative procedures to a single operation made on an IT system. Additionally, a point of interoperability between the Tuscan Port Community System (TPCS) and the PIL rail system has been developed by Ferrovie dello Stato Group, and it is currently being used by multimodal transport operators for managing rail activities. This prototype has allowed both the extension of the range of services offered by the TPCS to its users and the facilitation for rail operators of the booking of the entrance of trains into the port terminal. In order to minimize staff costs related to procedures for incoming and outgoing flows of goods by rail through the port of Koper, Inter-Europa has developed a solution for the management of railway wagons and rail freight through the port of Koper. The prototype would simplify the sharing of information amongst the rail operators and different terminals in the port. Finally, the partners involved in this initiative have identified several common needs for a wider acceptance and implementation of simplified rail transit procedures in cross-border sections. Some of the recommended actions are the establishment at an EU level of a common simplified transit document model for goods travelling via maritime transport initially and then continuing their travel inland by rail. The development of the necessary legal instruments for member states where transit documents are issued in order to enable them to accept the postponement of physical controls until the goods reach the final destination, i.e. the storage plant of the importer. The extension of the exemption from submitting a guarantee to all rail transit operators. Implementing these prototypes instead of continuing to use current procedures will be a profitable initiative for agents involved, resulting in a net present value (NPV) of over €700,000 over a period of 10 years. The payback period for the investment is less than 1 year. For every euro of 10T co-funding received, €22.40 of net benefits will be generated.